Hey guys, I wanted to take the time to, be able to do just a quick reaction on Dune Part Two. I had to really gather my thoughts and really, kind of let this kind of settle in because it was a lot to take in after watching this film. I wanted to do this yesterday, but I just kind of waited a day later when I could really collect my thoughts and really just ponder deeper, on the many things I loved about it. Again, it's still a lot to take in. I probably will have to be seeing this film at least a second time, but as it stands now, this is not saying it's equal to these films, but it's pretty close. Just for sci-fi alone, I would probably put this pretty close up there with The Empire Strikes Back and Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. Among great sequels, period. Whether you're looking at The Godfather Part Two, Aliens, Terminator 2, The Dark Knight. I mean, this is to name a few. I mean, this is worthy of putting up there in that league. Even a lot of great biblical epics. You look at this, kind of makes you feel like how people must have felt 1959 watching Charlton Heston and Ben Hur for the first time. Just the scope and scale and just the almost goosebumps you get on these huge, emotionally powerful, dark scenes, the intensity of the acting and just the huge scale of everything. It was magnificent, such a magnificent movie. There's a lot of similarities too to Lawrence of Arabia, which is another all time great film too. A lot of parallels that reminded me of even a little bit of The Godfather Part Two. Kind of seeing the evolution of the character of Paul Atreides, played by Timothy Chalamet, and what he's able to do with that character, um, evolving in a similar way to how Al Pacino did from The Godfather to The Godfather Part Two as Michael Corleone, and it reminded me a lot of that. You see the growth in this character, how Timothy as Paul starts so boyish and naive and very innocent, but you see how how he changes and becomes, more bent on revenge and rebellious and wanting to starting off being a reluctant leader who doesn't really want to take on this role of being the Messiah, but the way he grows, especially by the second half, and some of those speeches that he gave, and I think people who really love the film will know what scenes I'm referring to. It's almost impossible not to get goosebumps while watching it. I mean, when you're watching a master class in acting and you're watching a legend in the making, somebody who could really do some serious, serious stuff for many, many, many years to come. And, I could see Chalamet kind of having a similar trajectory, even though they're two totally different actors, but I could see him having a similar trajectory even to DiCaprio, and where DiCaprio had kind of evolved from going from Titanic to working more with Scorsese and doing more of these very adult, mature, intense roles, whether it was from Gangs of New York to, The Aviator to The Departed, Blood Diamond, all these great roles, Shutter Island, um, Revolutionary Road. I mean, he had so many great roles over the years, and you see, the evolution as an actor, the growth, how he continued to keep reinventing himself. And I think Chalamet is about to turn that corner. You get that similar kind of feeling that you got from watching Leo when he was a young actor, about to transition more into darker, more intense, visceral roles, on film. And I believe we're in for something really spectacular over the next, who knows, 20 plus years of him doing this or beyond, even. I mean, I said this on other channels too. Between him and Austin Butler, I truly believe that, and there's others in this discussion too who are great young actors too, but I truly believe those two in particular are probably two of the best young male actors we have of that generation of actors. I mean, they are unbelievably gifted. And it's just it's so scary to see the talent they have, because I believe that neither one of them are really in their peak yet. They're both approaching it. Butler might be maybe a little bit closer to it. Timothy feels like he's definitely approaching it much quicker, and it feels like he's maybe just another film or two away from really, really approaching his peak. Because once he gets into his 30s, I believe he's really gonna be that actor along with Austin that we're really going to be talking about 20, 25 years from now. I could see those two being sort of like a Pacino, De Niro of their generation, even though that might be maybe going a little too far for many, and not saying who's to say if they will fully reach that greatness, because obviously those are easily two of the greatest actors we've ever had, in film history. They're way up on the list, but I don't know. I can see it happening. I just think these two are going to do some unbelievable stuff for many, many years to come. What Austin does with Faye Rotha and being able to change his voice, and how dark and menacing he was, and what all the nuance that Timothy brings to his interpretation of Paul in this part too. And you even look at the brilliance that Zendaya showed as Chani. This was easily, as far as film is concerned, this was easily the best work I've seen her do as an actress. This completely outdistanced anything I've seen her do on film, I'd say, especially for movies. You look at, she never really thoroughly floored me in the Spider-Man films, or even some of the other stuff she's done, but this film was definitely an exception. This really showed what she's capable of doing as an actress. And obviously, Florence Pugh, in my opinion, is probably the best actress of her generation. There's a few others in the discussion too. Obviously, you could throw in Zendaya, you could throw in Anya Taylor-Joy, Kaylee Spaney, to name a few. There's a few others to throw on that list too, but Florence is pretty much kind of front and center. And I mean, even like Denise said, and many have pointed out too, those four very much are going to be the future of Hollywood. They're going to be the cornerstone, as the four that I feel like define their generation, where we're going to see some unbelievable stuff for years and years to come out of, Timothy Chalamet, Austin Butler, Florence Pugh, and Zendaya. We're going to see so many strong performances throughout the years. And it's going to be fun to see, what they do throughout their careers. But overall, again, it was a lot to take in, but that was my first impression. The acting was unbelievable from the entire cast, including Rebecca Ferguson and Javier Bardem, Josh Brolin, even Christopher Walken, and Dave Bautista. I mean, they all gave great performances. I thought the action, everything was just heightened at a much heightened, darker level, and you saw more of the mythology, of Dune. This is much closer than any interpretation I think we've ever seen to reaching, truly reaching all the things that were described in Frank Herbert's book, even though obviously then he takes a few liberties, changes a few things, including, the ending too. But I thought everything worked. In fact, it made it even deeper in a lot of ways, the cliffhanger. But it's going to take a little while to really, really fully grasp everything and have it fully sink in. But as of right now, those are my thoughts, that this is one of the rarefied sequels that you could kind of put on that kind of level with Empire and Wrath of Khan and The Godfather Part 2, The Two Towers, The Dark Knight, Terminator 2, Aliens, whatever all-time great sequels you could think of, and even just great classic Hollywood epics, period, such as Lawrence of Arabia or Ben-Hur or The Ten Commandments. It's got so much of a strong classic Hollywood biblical epic feel to it, and it was just it was just a triumph to watch that, and just very, very, very powerful, visceral stuff. But I look forward to see where Denis takes this, down the line, some years from now with Doom Messiah, and see where he could take this saga now, because it's very unique. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend see it. It's something that we're all probably gonna have to see at least a few times or so to really fully unpack everything, because it's a lot to take in. At it's 2 hour and 46 minute runtime, but I felt overall they did a great job. It's just a masterclass of filmmaking, from the directing to the cinematography, sound design, visual effects, the acting, the costume design, you name it. It's just it just went there. I don't know what else to say. It was a complete experience. It's one of those films that it really reminds you of why you love movies, you know, why you really appreciate great filmmaking and storytelling. And as sci-fi fans, this is easily one of the best sci-fi films, period, and one of the greatest movies ever made. I'd say it's something very unique that we've yet to see. The comparisons to Empire were justified. Now, whether you think it's as good as that film or not, or up there with Wrath of Khan or any other great sequel, is debatable, but it definitely came really close for me. It was one of those films that you don't see like every week or every month. This is a once in so many years kind of experience to see on the big screen. I recommend see it, if you can, in IMAX or XD. See it on a really big screen, and you really have to be immersed in this world, because what they do with Arrakis and some of the other planets and the battles, and it's on another level. But again, that was my quick thoughts. I'm gonna have to see it a few more times to fully maybe give more feedback down the line. But that's just my first initial thoughts after letting it sink in an extra day. But I loved it. It's definitely lived up to my expectations, and even exceeded my expectations in a lot of way. But it did a lot. It did pretty much everything I wanted to, and even more, really. I hope this, although it released very early, I do hope that this movie can contend for multiple Oscars in 2025, and hopefully even Best Picture, because it really deserves it. And hopefully even some of the acting can get acknowledged, hopefully from Timothy, Rebecca Ferguson, Zendaya, and hopefully Austin too, because they all put in incredible performances. It was just very, very powerful stuff. But this was definitely one of the best movie experiences I've had in a long time, maybe ever. In all the years I've been going to the theaters, it was something else. But I highly recommend you guys all go out and see this, and let me know in the comments below what you thought of the film. What were your favorite scenes? Who do you feel like gave the best performances in the film? Because pretty much, to me, everybody was brilliant in this film. This was an incredible ensemble piece. But again, if you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'd love to hear everybody's thoughts, and what you really appreciated from this marvel. But I really believe we have just experienced arguably one of the greatest movies ever made, period. This was a master class in filmmaking. But if you haven't, again, go out and see this. I think you'll love it. No one film is for everyone, but this is pretty close to as perfect a movie as you could get. I mean, this is just so well put together from top to bottom. But we'll see you guys next time, and thanks for watching. Bye.